First of all, welcome everyone. Nice to have you here. Full house today. So, also welcome to those people who are listening on SoundCloud to this. Okay, so today we have a question from Chris. And so he asks, I have a lot of stuff to do and don't like doing it. I feel resistance and the tendency to procrastinate. How can I do unpleasant work more mindfully so as to decrease the unpleasantness and use it as a tool to become more mindful? Let's just take that question as it is. Chris also mentioned that he didn't really like the question so much, but I think we all get the point. It's a good question. So I think it's quite clear that we very often are kind of forced by life to do things and to do work that we don't want to do. By the way, meditation can be one of these things. You might feel like, oh, I don't want to sit down. I don't want to do my practice today. I'd rather watch a movie or get drunk. There's different kind of attitudes that we can have towards what we need to do. And so the attitude of resistance is one of the possible attitudes you can have. Not wanting to do something. So as always, it's important to just really notice the way it is. Rather than resisting the fact that you don't want to do something, can you open up to it? Can you notice, not wanting is like this? And simply explore how it is like not wanting something. But right now I'm in a state of resistance. Look, you don't have to sit cross-legged to look at yourself. You don't have to be upright or straight. You don't have to lie down to look at yourself. You don't have to do anything in particular to see yourself clearly. Right there at this point where you are. Might be in a car as you're listening to this on a podcast or whatever. Might be in a train. Might be surrounded by other people. What is important in the practice of meditation is to see truth. And truth means to see that the way it is. That means you see truth. So how is it? Well, right now I need to do, I don't know, something specific. I need to maybe set up a workshop. And I still didn't do anything. I still have to print out papers and I still didn't do it. But I don't want to do it. I'd rather have a look at another YouTube movie or something else on Facebook that's going on, or I'd rather call a friend or go outside, take a breath. But I don't want to do this right now. So can you become aware of not wanting? First of all, I think that's the very first step to do. It's taking a little bit of time to just explore how it is like not to want, to be in a state of resistance. Very, very often when we are in a state that feels unpleasant, our first instinct is to get rid of it. And then some meditation teachers, they say, let go. I'm one of those guys that says let go. But also very often let go is misunderstood as try to get rid of it. That's not the point of letting go. Maybe a better word really would be let it be there. See it clearly as it is. Not just looking at it from a kind of perspective, from some sort of opinionated view. There it is, not wanting. There it is. Well, I'd rather not have it, but now I'm just staring at it. And you kind of have this stare down with not wanting. That's not it. But it's a very soft kind of exploring. You're looking at it like an explorer would. Where do you feel it in your body, for example? Is one of the first kind of questions I ask myself. Where do I feel this sense of resistance within my body? And I do feel it in the body. You feel all kind of mental states. You can feel them in the body. They have a subtle energy in the body. Particularly states that are intense, like resistance or liking something very much. So where in the body do you feel it? And then really feel it. That already pulls you into the present moment. And in the present moment, there are not so many problems. There are actually no problems there. Says the more you come into the present, the more you are free from problems. There's a little story that Ajahn Brahm was telling quite often when he had to build a wall. He was at this monastery in the north of Thailand, in the middle of the jungle somewhere, and the head teacher of the monastery was Ajahn Chah. He actually told him to carry cement from one corner of the monastery into the other, through the jungle, because they had to build a wall, so they needed the cement to be over there. So Ajahn Brahm had to work the whole day, from the morning until nighttime, to use a wheelbarrow to carry the cement through the jungle to the other side. Heavy work, hard work. And so by the end of the day, he was really exhausted, really tired. And the next day, the head teacher went out to teach somewhere else. And so, as it is customary, there is a replacement kind of head of the monastery at this time when the head teacher is out. And the replacement monk looked at the cement and said, "Hey, why don't you bring the cement over there?" And he pointed to kind of another place. And so Ajahn Brahm listened, and he brought this kind of cement to the other place. There's again another whole day of work. And the jungles are hot, humid. There's mosquitoes everywhere, lots of them. It's really unpleasant work. So he got really tired and really exhausted from doing that, having to push the cement. He would like to sit probably and do meditation practice instead, but he had to carry cement. And then on day 3, Ajahn Chah comes back from the other monastery, and he says, "Why is the cement over there? I told you to bring it here." And another day of work. He had to bring the whole cement from the other place back to the original place. And now he was really angry, understandably. And so he went through the jungle, pushing the wheelbarrow, cursing aloud. Like being really angry, expressing his anger, while pushing the wheelbarrow, going back and forth. And an older monk was looking at him while he did that, and eventually asked him to come over. And then he said, "You know, pushing the wheelbarrow is easy. Thinking about pushing the wheelbarrow is hard." Now that points to the power of real, genuine presence. If you come into a present state of awareness, you let go of future and past thinking, the what-ifs. Will I finish it? Will I make it? Because these are the stressors. That's what's creating the tension. You're basically pulled away from the truth of this moment. And you try to be somewhere else. And that's how the stress arises. It's really important to actually study that. I said it many times, that real good meditation is about getting to know the mechanics of stress. To understand how do I make myself suffer? How do I do it? And when you really understand, when you really see into this kind of mechanic, you find out how to stop it, how to stop suffering, how to stop stressing out. And you can be quite peaceful. You can push the wheelbarrow, but there is no suffering. Because you don't want to be anywhere else. You don't want to do anything else. You are doing what you do. So if you can bring this sort of present moment awareness into unwanted work, it helps already a great deal. But this is quite hard for a beginner. You need to have quite a solid sense of being able to stay here to make that work properly. So that's why we do regular meditation practice every day. You want to sit down and train the mind. And if you can, have little sections of your day, little mini meditations, like 1 minute, 2 minutes, or something like that, where you kind of cultivate this sense of presence, where you drop everything. And you can say, you celebrate being. You drop the doing and you celebrate being. Just for a minute. And you want to have these kind of spaces more and more, where you just drop everything, as if you were dying in 1 minute. Helps heaps to do that. To just open up every now and then and just drop everything. Like as if that's it. I'm going to die in 10 minutes. So why stress out about stuff? Just relax. And sure, if some people say, well, if I think like this, then I don't do nothing. I'm just thinking, oh well, I'm going to die in 10 minutes, I'm going to do nothing. I'm only going to do things that I like. Right? That sense can easily arise, like, okay, if I'm going to die in 10 minutes, then why work at all? So the fact is, we don't know when we are going to die, but this kind of reflection helps to bring your mind back into this moment. It's quite radical. It brings the mind back into this moment right here, right now. Now I'm here. What is it that really matters right now? It is life itself. It's so rarely that we're actually in touch with life. Just life. Most of the time we are thinking about it. Thinking about life. How to live it. What will happen to it. What did happen back then? How were the past 2 months? How will the future be? That is occupying the majority of our mind. That is the reason for pain, for suffering. Only that. When that fades and you enter a sort of stillness or wakefulness, is very vibrant, very warm, very kind and loving. But that's when things happen. That's when the real spiritual insights start to emerge, in that space. So one way of accepting your resistance is becoming aware of it. The other way is to make friends with it. So we are combining awareness and mindfulness with the practice of kindness, compassion. Being able to see that, hey, I'm holding on to suffering right now. I'm hurting myself right now. And to actually see that, maybe it provokes some compassion, some warmth in you towards yourself. What am I doing to myself? And so many times we are treating ourselves in such a painful way. It's incredible. So much tension, so much unnecessary stuff that we're holding on to that is just so heavy. And so when we bring in this element of kindness, we are creating a kind space in which life is allowed to exist, including all the neurotic tendencies of the personality, of the ego. If you bring in this sort of warmth, that's where all that stuff melts. That's where also real spiritual growth can happen. It's a very nourishing space. It's where all positive qualities spring forth from. This is also where you get energy to do what you need to do. in that kind stillness, in which you're allowed to just be human, normal, a bit messy. But that kind space, it means you see these habit tendencies in which you are hurting yourself and you are able to drop them. It's basically, this is forgiveness. You see that you hurt yourself and you stop hurting yourself. You're being kind to yourself. There are things that we absolutely have to do in life. If you drink water, you need to go pee. You have to go. You might feel real resistance against that. It doesn't change the fact that you have to go to the toilet. Sometimes you need to go to work now, and you don't want to. Then another way of dealing with these unpleasant little things of life, there are a few unpleasant things, there are a few pleasant things in life, right? And these unpleasant things, they can become great teachers. They can be these teachers that help you to relax under pressure. In pleasant times, you have times to really cultivate meditation deeply, enjoy yourself, have a great time, you're on holidays, there's no stress, nobody bothering you. Wonderful. Use that time to advance fast. Don't waste it. We have a tendency that when life goes well, we immediately waste it. We forget meditation. And as soon as life becomes tough, whoop, there it is. I forgot my meditation practice. I should go to these classes again. But when life goes well, we quickly forget. And it's when life goes well that you actually have this leisure to really advance fast on the path. You have all the time you need. No one disturbs you. Use the time. And then there are unpleasant times. Throughout the entire day, right? You have nice times and you have unpleasant times. These unpleasant times might be caused by encountering unpleasant people that are pushing your buttons, that are challenging you. Those are your teachers. They come and actually basically they have a question for you. The question is, are you really relaxed? That's the point of meditation, to relax. So if someone comes and pushes your button and you explode, and just half an hour before that you were sitting so peacefully and daydreaming away in your meditation session, and then you come out and then 30 minutes later you explode because you have to wait in a queue. Meditation has to really work everywhere, in any circumstance. It has to bite. It has to work. Like traction of a car. If you have no traction, the car doesn't move forward. Your meditation wants to really, is like the traction of a car. It helps you to move forward. So whatever happens in your life, whatever the circumstances are, it might be the absolute worst circumstance you could imagine, or beautiful circumstances. The question is, do you relax? Do you give it a kind space? And this is also the same for things that we don't want to do. Can we do them while relaxing at the same time? When I was practicing Tai Chi with my teacher, that was all about the practice. It is just standing still in really uncomfortable postures for 1 or 2 hours. It's gruesome. And the teacher would go around and say, relax, relax, relax. And you feel like anything but relaxing. It feels so counterintuitive at the beginning. It's like, no, I just want to run out of here. But that's where you really learn to relax. In uncomfortable situations, that when you can relax, when your legs are on fire, and you relax anyways. That is solid relaxation, and that also translates later into your life. I also noticed that while I was doing Tai Chi Chuan, that your whole being becomes more settled just through standing still. So I still sometimes do that, just standing still. This is very beneficial. It's a lot of pain, but is the mind still? Is the mind relaxed? It's kind of like a testing ground. Is your meditation really working? I mean, we all can relax if circumstances are nice. If everything goes well, you just won the lottery, you just got a new car, you just a new promotion at your job, the holidays have just started. Great, you can relax, it's easy. But can you relax when there is someone that's a little bit in your face? Or something that's a little bit in your face. So it's a bit of a challenge. It's very playful. Nothing serious. It's a playful thing. We don't need to go out and seek pain so we can test ourselves. That's a bit too serious already. But if there is some pain coming in life, little pain, big pain, the question is, can I relax through that one? And so you do it anyways. It requires also discipline to do something that you don't want to do because you know it's good to do that. So to do something that you don't want to do also requires to have purpose. If you have no purpose, you're just kind of imposing a lot of things to do on yourself, but all of these things you don't know really why you are doing them. You're just kind of keeping yourself in a busy mode. Then that is quite aimless. And if there is this aimlessness, there's no direction to it, you cannot have discipline. And if you cannot have discipline, you don't achieve anything in life. You're just swimming around in circles. Sometimes here, sometimes there. You're a little bit like a leaf in the wind, not having any clear-cut direction. And it's really important to have that in life. Once you are very clear on what you want and what will get you there, most of the unpleasant stuff falls away. There will still be unpleasant things to be done, but the majority of what's a nice word for random stuff? The majority of life's klimbim. I just made that up. So it's just stuff in life, you know what I mean? That stuff of life stuff that there's so much very often is because we have no clear goal. So there's so many options, so much stuff. We're losing ourselves in it. There is unnecessary discomfort that could be removed with a little bit of proper management. What is it that eats away unnecessary time of your day? Cut it out. What is cutting away from your me time, from your relaxation time? Cut it out. Is it really necessary to do that? Where is it supposed to get you? These kind of very practical, down-to-earth questions are important. But where do I want to be in a year's time? What is my mission in life? If you have a mission or a vision, you have a direction, things much more clear, and then you have a purpose also. You know why you want to be there. You're joyfully going there. So it doesn't feel like you're doing this kind of, I need to do this, but you're doing it for your dream. You have a passion. You're passionate about something. I'm passionate about my work, what I do. Very much so. I absolutely love what I do. We do the retreats, we are doing the classes here, and I love it. And so there is unpleasant stuff that I need to do. There's office stuff that I need to do, emails to be answered, that I need to do, programs to be created, that I need to do all of that. But do I feel like, gosh, I have to do that? Not really. that much, actually. There are days where I feel like, I just don't want to do this now, but I kind of have to find, like here in Thailand, you need to do these kind of 3 months visa stamps. I need to go to the immigration every 3 months to get a stamp. I don't want to do this. But then I go to the immigration and I take it an opportunity. It's a bit of a change in my day. I see it kind of from a different perspective. It's a bit of a change in my day, and it supports doing what I love. So it's not that bad. And there's many of such instances. Things that are a bit unpleasant, but if you change your perspective a little bit, the unpleasantness can also immediately go away. So how to change our perspective? That's just another tip that comes to mind. Changing your perspective. What are you doing? Why is it unpleasant? Very often it is unpleasant due to our perspective. We're looking at it from one angle only, and we feel like, that doesn't look very good. Well, change your angle. It might look really great from the other side. Can you find something that you're grateful for? Can you lift your spirit? Is there something about that thing that you need to do and that is unpleasant? Can you find something in there that you feel grateful for? Well, I'm grateful that I'm able to do that, actually. Or I'm grateful that I'm able to get that done, if it's just that. And sometimes for me it helps to just think, all right, I need to go and do this now, and really once I have done that, I can really relax. It helps me sometimes. I think this is this disturbing thing in front of me. Let's get rid of it so I can relax. So for example, in the morning I would get up very early and I do all the things that I need to do fast, so then I can relax a little bit. We pick up our guests every morning at 6 a.m. to go to a morning excursion. So I wake up at about 5. And then I have like 30 minutes to make myself some lemon juice, some warm water. And I do that. And then I take a shower, and then I rest. And I have time, like 30 minutes or so. I write down my dreams from the past night and do things that I like to do. And I relax. But now, if I would sleep and I say, wow, I have 10 minutes more to sleep. And I hit snooze. Or 10 minutes more to sleep. And I hit snooze again. And suddenly it's 5:50. Now I have just successfully created a huge amount of stress. And that stress has been created with the idea that I want to relax a little bit more. And that is what creates the stress. Doesn't it? And very often in life we do exactly that. We think, I'll just push it a little bit aside, I'll just do it tomorrow, and then it's the huge stress finally, because we have to race for it. We have to run, and we're stressing, will I make it, and all that kind of stuff. That is unnecessary. Do things that you can do now, so you can relax later. Instead of saying, I want to relax now, but there's always this kind of thing in the future that you still have to do, the appointment. And it's out there, and you feel it, and it makes you, even when you relax, you can't fully relax, because you still know there's something to do. I like to do, with my best friend, we like to go out together, and we call it a man day. Just the two of us just going out and just doing man things. You know? Like going into shoe shops and stuff like that. Wait a second. So, when we do that, when we go out, then it's nice not to have any appointment in the afternoon. You don't have to do nothing later. You have the whole day, no appointment. Isn't that nice? You enjoy that too, right? You know, tomorrow it's Saturday. No appointment. I can sleep as long as I want to. I can do whatever I want to. Sometimes you feel like that when your husband has left for a week or something, or your wife has just left out of the house and you have one entire day just for yourself. Wow, no one controlling me. Nice. Can do whatever I want. No one commenting on it. Like that. We like this sort of relaxation because there's nothing ahead. No appointments. It's nice. And so that way you save yourself a huge deal of stress if you do what you need to do now. So later you can relax. It's my technique. I like to do it like this. Let's get things done. Let's get them out of the way. My personal example is where I'm doing this kind of videos every week. I'm uploading a video. It's called A Little Inside. And there was a huge amount of editing work, shooting that and then editing it afterwards. I'm doing all that by myself. So it's a huge amount of work. I had to get to know all the software and all that stuff. So I lost a lot of days doing just one video. So my goal was to be able to do 4 videos and edit them in one day. That's one entire day of work, but an entire month without doing videos. Does that make sense? That's the way I think. I say, okay, I give that one day and I give it my all. And then have a 1 month to relax. Instead of having like 1 month where I don't really fully relax. Because I always have something to do. That might be a technique that works for you too. Keep the stress away by managing yourself well. Know what you want. Know why you want it. You have a purpose, you have a mission, you have a clear vision of your life. Most of the stress falls away. Guaranteed. And the stressful things that you do, that you need to do, they will be less stressful if you're working for your dream. Then it's more like fun to do that. It's exciting. And this is if you're managing your life really well, there is a majority of pleasure and little suffering. If you're not managing your life well, there is a lot of stress, a lot of problems, but very little happiness. So as a meditator, we are aiming to create more happiness and less suffering in life. And managing our life properly, internally and externally, is really, really important. Changing perspective, having a vision, having a purpose, all that. Being grateful, shifting your state. What are you grateful right now? What are you grateful for right now? Right now, what would you be grateful for? Anything comes to mind? And see what it does to you, thinking about it. Like, for example, wow, I have eyes, or I have ears to hear. Or I'm here, maybe it's just being here. For me, it's just being here to do what I do right now. It makes me happy. I'm grateful for that. To share some time with you guys. It's nice. What else? Any more ideas? What are you grateful for?
Learning meditation.
Learning meditation, yes. Learning meditation. And if you really stay with that, contemplate it, it lifts your spirit. And you want to do that a lot, so you feel less negative about your life and what you do. Maybe another thing to contemplate would be asking yourself the question, why do I feel negative about what I do? So we all can't help but to feel negative from time to time, but if that is a big thing, if you're very often feeling negative about what you do, then ask yourself, why is that? feel into this. What does your heart tell you? So I want to end this session with a little exercise. You can actually put your hand on your heart, if you like, at some point, and just ask your heart to give you an answer. You can actually ask yourself for answers. And then just become very quiet and wait. Why do I not like to do what I do? Maybe a simple question to ask. Why am I resisting tasks that I have to do? And then listen to yourself. Very often the answer just comes up. Quite direct. Most of us, we already know ourselves quite well. It's just we refuse to look. All right? Good. Maybe good enough for today.